Hey there, friends. Welcome to week 9. We've been moving right along in this 10-week live series here at JamPlay. I'm Tyler Grant. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are moving right along with our Bluegrass kickoffs, and we're getting into a song called Take This Hammer. You might have heard some different versions of this song. It's old song. It's been through many iterations. And this is sort of the version that I've settled on that's most common in bluegrass circles. A good reference to listen to would be the Osborne Brothers version of this song. We're getting into a few new things here. One of them is the capo on the 4th fret, because we're in the key of B, the big old bluegrass key of B. I guess we did that once before. We did that on Keep Your Lamp Trimmed and Burning. Similar vibe here. It's kind of a bluesy number. We're keyed way up to the key of B, playing out of G position. Now, G position, again, being one of the most common keys. I don't shy away from A position, though we're not covering that on this series because G position is so much more common. And in a bluegrass circle, you're not going to see a guitar player playing the key of B, out of a B bar chord. You're going to have a capo and be either 2nd fret A position or, as we are, 4th fret G position. So let me just kind of run you through this song, and then we'll discuss the stages of how I put the kickoff together. So we're going to strum a G chord here with your capo on the 4th fret, and I'm opting for this type of bluegrass G chord. Many of the other lessons, I've been doing the G chord with the open B string. Now we're closing off that B string, 3rd fret. So 3rd and 4th fingers will play that. You'll see some bluegrassers play it that way. The great Del McCurry, he plays it this way. Anyway, this is the standard way to do it. And remember that 2nd fret of the A string is not being sounded with my 1st finger. We're dampening the A string with the 2nd finger. Big, tight, bluegrass-style G chord. So I'll sing the song and just kind of show you how it goes. Take this hammer, carry to the captain. Take this hammer, carry to the captain. Take this hammer, carry to the captain. Tell him I'm gone. You can tell him I'm gone. Okay? That last line is a little, I kind of bluesed it up a little bit. What I've got on the lead sheet is something more like, tell him I'm gone. You can tell him I'm gone. Just a subtle difference. And you'll see that when we get to the lead sheet. So let's start, though, by just watching me and listening to me shout out the chord numbers. It's a 1-4-5, just like most of our songs in this series, and like most bluegrass songs are. And let's just strum a simple boom strum rhythm, and I'll just shout the changes starting on the 1 chord, the G. A 1, 2, 3. And a 1 to the 5, that's a D. Stay on the 5, back to 1. And a 1, now we're going to the 4. One more time from the top. Here's your 1 chord. 1, 2, 3. To the 5. One more measure of 5. Back to 1. Hang on the 1. To the 4. 1, 5, 1. Play it again, I'll sing. Take this hammer, carry to the captain. Take this hammer, carry to the captain. Take this hammer, carry to the captain. Tell him I'm gone. You can tell him I'm gone. Great. As you know, being bluegrass students, there's so much you can do with that rhythm. And that's not what we're here to cover. There's walk-ups, there's some seventh chords you can throw in. But for now, let's just move on from the rhythm. Check out my Bluegrass Rhythm Survival Guide on JamPlay. Or I get into it in detail also on my Bluegrass Flat Picking Method course. For bass walk-ups, walk-downs, G-runs, where to put the seventh chords, things like that. So let's go ahead and move on to the melody of this song from the lead sheet. Now again, it's just a sort of a squared off version of the melody, no slides, no grace notes of any kind. It's just the basic building blocks and the main important melody notes there. There's not even every single syllable, right? Because the chorus is different than the verses, even though the melody is basically the same. So this is just a simplified version for guitar or piano or clarinet or whatever you're playing, but we're playing guitars today. So let us put on the rhythm track and try this melody at the slow tempo. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and... Now, hearing it that way, it sounds very pastoral, not bluesy in any way, right? We're going to blues it up quite a bit, especially when we get to this, that B note over the C chord. That would almost always be flatted if we are improvising or doing grace notes with our singing. But anyway, like I said, this is just a squared off basic version so we can get the building blocks of how to put together an arrangement. Pickup notes, right? I, once again, tried to catch you off guard, so you notice there's pickup notes there. And those come on the 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So one more time. Okay, and I also need to mention there's those couple 16th notes toward the end. The last two measures, 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1. So you'd have a down up on there. That's the only down up in this whole arrangement. Otherwise, it's all down strokes. So just to review again, the last two measures, 3 and 4 and 2 and 3, down, up, down, down, down. Okay, one more time with the rhythm track at slow tempo, the basic lead sheet. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and... Okay, just to get it a little bit more familiar in our minds, let's move up to the mid-tempo and play the same thing. A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and... Okay, I bet you can't wait to get into how we're going to arrange this. I know that I can't wait. So let us go ahead and move on and get into the melody strum. So I like to go through a melody strum version on all of these songs if they line up that way. And this one does. And we'll be in the same key, same position. And this time, I know we were talking about when we're playing rhythm on this, I'd say this would be the chord to go for, your closed off G chord. In this melody strum, it's going to be that one, because that just for some reason, well, it's really optional. It's up to you, but I've notated this with the open B string G chord, just because it has a little more resonance, especially when we're up there on these higher notes. If you just had, that sounds fine too. It's up to you, but I'm going to play it this way with just the high G note being fretted and the open B ringing. So those are the beginning notes. It's the open D string, it's the melody notes, just like on the lead sheet. Second fret, then the open G, and then we've got that quick strum of just those two strings. Then you play the open G again. Then you've got, again, 3 strums on just the 2 notes that remain. So I'm going ahead and we're getting into this, you know, I'm coaching you through it, and then I'll demonstrate in context how it goes. So one more time, open D, second fret, open G, and strum, then melody, strum, 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 and then I can do a quick hammer on from the open G to the second fret, then the open G again, and then a quick slide from the 4th fret of the D string to the 2nd fret, open, that's our melody notes, and then strums on those notes from the D chord, and then holding that D chord down, open D, 4th fret with your 4th finger, that note you're already fretting, 2nd fret of the G string, and then that note again, strum again, and then a hammer on from the 1st finger to the 4th finger, and then strum. I know it sounds funny when you hang on it, but it's only going to last for a second. And then those melody notes, strums. Okay, then open G, 2nd fret, slide all the way up with your 2nd finger to the 4th fret. And now we're on this chord shape, like an F shape up here on the 7th fret it is, but it's the 3rd fret from the capo. Same deal, melody, strum, strum, strum. Melody, same note, strum, then slide down, quick slide, back from the 4th to the 2nd fret, open G, and then strum your 1 finger C chord, just 2 notes of it, right? And then that's a quick slide of that double stop. 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G, 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string, slide up a whole step, and then right back down. Okay? And then there's your melody note G. And then there's your next melody note, strumming a G again, and then open D, strum, and then hammer on from the open D to the 2nd fret, and then the open G. I call that the most important lick in flat picking. We see it on every one of these arrangements. And then you just got a boom strum, open G, strum, open D, then the low G bass note, and then we're back to our boom strum. And that's just a measure of boom strum, showing you that's how you continue with the rhythm. So let me play this for you one time, and then we'll go back and do another quick breakdown of it, because I think this is actually a pretty cool melody strum version. So here's how I'm going to play it, just straight ahead as written. Okay, so one more time, I'm just going to run you through one measure at a time. We've got the pickup notes, open D, 2nd fret, open G, and then get one finger up there to strum the remaining notes, just the B and the G, sorry, the B and the high E strings. And then the open G again, strum what's left 3 times, hammer on from the open G to the 2nd fret, then the open G, and then a quick slide from the 4th fret of the D string down to the 2nd fret, and then open D, and then your D chord, just the 3 notes of it, 4 times, hold it down, open D, 4th finger on the 4th fret, and then there's your 2nd fret of the G string again. Alternate that with the remaining 2 notes of the D chord, and then a hammer on from the 1st finger, which is already held down, to the 4th finger. Quick strum, and then back to that 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the G string, open, and then 4 of those, open G, 2nd fret, slide up a whole step, and then you got that little double stop, then play the melody note again, and then the double stop 3 times, alternate the melody again with that, and then quick slide down to the 2nd fret, from the 4th fret, open G, strum just those 2 notes of the C chord, and then a double stop here, 2nd and 1st fingers on the 2nd fret of the G, 1st fret of the B string, up a whole step and then back down, sliding up and down without playing it. And then open G, and then play the G again, and then G strum, 2nd fret of the D, G chord strum, open D, D chord strum, and then your melody notes. And returning to the boom string. Okay, so we're moving quickly here because we got to get to the actual single note kickoff, which is going to be really fun. So let's just play this through together one time, really, really slow. And after that, I'll sort of perform it for you and show you how to make it a little more musical and less sort of music box. This is, again, just the building blocks of where we're putting the melody and where we're putting the strums. So together, as written, very slow. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, as the vocal enters and you get on to the song. So that was a little sloppy on my part. I bet you got every single note clean. But for me, let's do that one more time. Maybe just a tiny, tiny bit faster. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and 4. and so on. Great. So I know in hearing it this way, you're wondering what's happening. Here's what you got to do. You got to sit with an arrangement like this, and I've sort of demonstrated this every week. Sit with this arrangement and play with it and just start making it a little more musical. Throw in different rhythms, different feels, and there's nothing to that but to just listen to this style a lot and just try to emulate what's happening. So listen to me play this and you'll see what I mean. More musical, right? And all I was really doing was playing with the strums, and also just, you know, things like making the melody ring out a little louder than the strums and just getting the feel for it. So now I'm going to speed it up to more of a performance tempo, and it might make even more sense to you. So listen. Okay, so I hit a couple little, you know, extra strings in there unintentionally, but you get the idea. If you sit and play with this kind of thing every day, you'll come up with a really cool and musical version of it. But we're going to go ahead and move on. That's just an exercise along the way. If you love this melody strum style, then pursue that. Keep playing with it. You might even try this in a different position, like C position. Might sound really good. C and G are typically the best chord shapes for working up melody strum arrangements. But there you go. That lays out okay. It's a little bit on the high strings, you know, for being perfect on melody strum, but it works. So now let's focus on the actual kickoff, where we're going to get mostly single notes. There's a little bit of cross picking here because I wanted to review that. So here's our kickoff. It's going to start with this version, I should say, of the pickup notes. So we've seen that before. It's up, down, 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 down. And you got to set up your fretting hand this way. So you got an upstroke on the open G, downstrokes on the D string. Now your third finger needs to play that second fret because you're going to get ready for that position. And we've done this one before too. It's just a nice way to get a little cross picking in there when the melody is on the G string. So here we go. Up, down, 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 down. Now that's a unison, a slide with the third finger up to the fifth fret of the D string with the open G played at the same time. And on the next downstroke, you play the fretted note on the B string there. And then it's up, down, up, down, up, down. So let's just review that cross-picking pattern for a moment without the pickup notes. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's just consecutive strings. The D string, downstroke, B string, downstroke, and then up on the D string, down on the G string, up on the B string, then reverse order. Down, D string, up, G string, down. It might sound a little confusing because the D and the G strings are the same note. It's a unison there. But it's down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 2, ready, go. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 2, ready, go. Down, down, up. So that's your common 3-note forward roll, we call it, with alternating strokes. And backing up to the pickup notes again. Up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down. Let's just try that much, real slow. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. One more time. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down. Great. Moving on. Open G, first finger, first fret, and then second finger on the second fret, and then you play that note again, and then open G, and then this figure on the D string, third fret and the fourth fret. And I've shifted to this position here, you've noticed, using my second and third fingers. Because we're getting onto that figure where you're shifting up anyway, so you don't have to stay strictly in open position there. So again, the second half of that first full measure are these notes. Little chromatic, little walk up to this melody note from the open G string, open first finger and second finger, and then second finger plays that note again, and then open G. Then you can shift up to this position 1 fret higher to play that third and fourth fret of the D string, then the open D. Then your second finger is ready to go for this figure, open A, third fret, open D, and then open A again, and then third fret will slide up to the 5th fret of the A string, and then open D. So far we've got this. Okay, so this little thing it's just a cool little bluesy flat pickin figure to give that a little bit of decoration around the melody note. So let's play what we got so far from the pickup notes all the way to halfway through the second full measure. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. One more time, since that's a lot of material in those first 2 measures. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. Moving on from there, we got these notes, open D, 3rd fret, 4th fret again, open G, and now I'm going to use my first finger to slide from the 1st fret to the 2nd fret, because that's the next melody note, and I'm just working my way up to it. Open D, hold down that 2nd fret of the G string, play it again, open D again, 2nd fret of the G string again, open D again, and now, and that's an upstroke that catches that, up, 3rd fret of the G pulling off to the 2nd fret, and then open G, then a pull off from the 2nd fret of the D to the open D. And now we do this version of a G run, pull off again, 2nd fret of the D to the open D, and then slide from the 1st to the 2nd fret of the A string, and then open D, and then a pull off again, 2nd fret to the open D. So a lot of the same notes repeating there. So that figure at the end of the second full measure, going up to Here's what it sounds like. That all rolls off pretty easy once you get the fingering and get that figure in your head. So, from the top up to that point sounds like this. It's a lot of notes strung together, but it all makes a lot of sense once you get it under your fingers, like I said. So let's take it real slow and play from the top up to that point, because that's about the halfway point of this kickoff. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Now this time, let's really focus on the pick direction. I've got it all written down there. I know it's a lot to read, and I don't expect everyone to be great readers on sight of tablature and pick strokes. But it's all there, and you can reference it if you come back to the archive. You can download this page, make it a little easier for you to read, and really work that out. But I'm going to shout out pick directions now, and let's give it a go. Same thing. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. I missed that very last one. There's some syncopation here because of the pull-offs and such. So on that G run, for instance, down, up, down. Okay? So one more time, nice and slow. I'll shout out those pick strokes because maybe this will help you. The only thing that's truly going to get this under your fingers is running it at tempo and keeping that down, up steady in your mind, and even bobbing your head or tapping your foot or doing whatever it takes to keep that down, up consistent. And you'll just skip whatever note you're not playing and catch the one on the upstroke or downstroke, depending on where it lands in the rhythm. So one more time, I'll shout out the pick direction and we'll play the first half of the kickoff. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down. Okay. So maybe let's try this now with the rhythm track, just what we've done so far, from the top up to that sort of halfway point at the slow tempo rhythm track. Here we go. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. One more time, that same thing. and a 2 and a 3. Okay, moving right along, we got these pickup notes to the next measure. Simple pentatonic little pickup notes, open D, 2nd fret, open G, 2nd fret, open B. Then the next downbeat we got a slide, quick slide from the 2nd to the 4th fret of the G string. And then first finger's ready on that D note, talking capo language here, 3rd fret past the capo. And then, that's a cool little bluesy lick. So first finger on the 3rd fret, 3rd finger there, and then first finger will slide from the 3rd fret down to the 1st fret, which is the flatted 7 of that G chord, right? And then down minor pentatonic notes, 3rd fret, 1st fret of the B string, and then 3rd finger will slide from the 3rd to the 4th fret of the G, open G, and then another flatted 7 there, 3rd fret of the D string, open D, 1st fret, boom, that lands you on the C chord, and you got those notes. So, just the pickup notes to the previous measure on to where we were. It's down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down. Okay, I'll count you in. We'll play just that full measure with the pickup notes and then the halfway through the following measure. 1, 2, and a 3, and 4, E, and 2, E, and 3, and 4. One more time, that same section. 1, and 2, and 3. A lot of material there, right? But you're getting some really cool licks out of this. Again, treating that 7th, which will land us on the C chord. You could simplify that lick going. I'm just filling in a lot of notes because this style tends to be a busy, exciting style, and that's what we're going for. And we're getting a little bit more notey. We're in week 9, right? We're progressing in our complexity of our kickoffs. But this is still, I feel like, in the realm of what you can play. So that little thing, one more time, that same little measure with the pickup notes we just ran. 1, and a 2, and a 3. And then we've got kind of a break, because this is a little bit of a breather, I should say. This is kind of a simple lick. You already got this note held down, 2nd fret of the D string played again. Upstroke catches the G string open, then 3rd fret, and then bounce that on the next upstroke off of the 1st fret where you're holding down of the B string, and then 2nd fret of the G, open G, 2nd fret. So playing there, outlining a C7 chord. Then we've got some sort of G-run style figures. Bluegrass lick number 2, right? So open D, 2nd fret, open G, pull off, 3rd fret to the 2nd fret, open G, open, sorry, 2nd fret of the D, open D. That's a figure you should definitely know, just that little lick in itself. And we close it off with a fun little descending minor pentatonic bluesy. Right? Sounds completely minor. And it sounds really neat up against this major tonality. We visit those little minor streaks to give it intensity and make the major scale notes really stand out. And then we've got this G run. So we got the open G on the last measure, and then open A, upstroke catches the 1st fret, which slides to the 2nd fret, next upstroke on the open D, 3rd fret of the D string, then open G, and then we're back to our boom strum with that closed off G chord. Okay, so let's play the entire kickoff slow without the rhythm track, and then we'll pull up the rhythm track. So this will be even slower than 50 beats per minute. Let's give it a try. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Great, so we are getting toward the end of our time here, so let's start running this with the rhythm tracks. We'll go a couple times through on the slow rhythm track of 50 beats per minute. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. All right, one more time. Slow tempo. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Wonderful. So again, if you're not quite there yet, that's totally fine. I don't expect everybody to be all the way there playing every note of this. All you JamPlay members, if you're not a JamPlay member, it's pretty easy to become one. Just come right back once this is archived and download this notation and just come back to this point in the video and try it till you got it. So moving on, I think this is a really cool kickoff, right? Let's move on to the mid-tempo. You'll hear it a little more in a musical context here. 70 beats per minute. A 1, 2, 3. Great. One more time, 70 beats per minute. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Wonderful. And just to reiterate, I'm adding that rhythm at the end just so you get used to kicking off the song and getting right back to your rhythm playing, because that is a important role. That's actually the primary role of this guitar in the bluegrass band, is the rhythm. So also, as with all of these kickoffs in this series, these could be your break too during the song. This one even more so than the others. You might have noticed that we sort of did deviate a little bit more from the melody, threw in a few more licks than some of the other ones. The melody's still in there, pretty darn solid all the way through. But this has crossed a little bit more into what would be considered a break versus a kickoff, which that line is incredibly blurry. They're interchangeable, as I might have mentioned. But this would work absolutely wonderfully as a kickoff. It would also work pretty darn well as a guitar break in the middle of the song. So in either context, you're going to be jumping right back to the rhythm at the end of it. So that's why I notate that and have you just play the rhythm for a measure or two after this arrangement. Okay, so here we go, moving on to the performance tempo of 90 beats per minute. A 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think we have time for one more on the fast tempo, or the performance tempo, I should say. 90 beats per minute. A 1, 2, 3. So on. Now you got it. That's a great kickoff for a great song. Remember, I've got play-along jams on my YouTube channel. They happen on Mondays, most Mondays as we get into the spring and summer when gigs are happening and I'm traveling a little more. I might not be keeping up on them every week. I announce them every week on the Friday before on my social media pages. And I try to keep my website up to date as well. It is currently up to date as at the time of this lesson. And you can go play along with songs like this in context. This very song makes it onto the set list pretty frequently. Slow tempo, mid-tempo, and faster tempo jams. Monday nights, you'll see plenty of them, multitudes of them, archived on my YouTube channel. So just search for me, Tyler Grant. You'll see me with the guitar. And not to be confused with Tyler the Creator, who's the more famous Tyler. And join me on those sessions. They're free. You can come play along anytime. And join me for next week when we will wrap up this 10-week series on Bluegrass Kickoffs here at JamPlay. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Tyler Grant, and we'll break now for questions. Hey there, friends. We got some questions. And let's see. Can you explain what a pickup note is? Is it the same? Dreadnoughts. Is it important for me to play with the backing track? I like that I can play slower when I'm not playing with a track. I mean, ultimately, if you're looking to actually play with others, which is what this style is sort of all about, you're going to want to be able to play with that track and keep time with it, at least on the slow and sort of mid-tempos. You can take your time, though, getting to that point. Yes, take your time, as slow as you need to go to get the arrangement down, and then, yeah, ultimately you're going to want to be able to play with those backing tracks. All right, everybody. Well, we are winding down. I believe there is one more week. This is week 9, right? So next week we will wrap up this whole series. I need to look at my calendar to double check. Yeah, correct. Next week is the final week. So it's been great working with you on these 10 weeks. And Please don't be strangers. I'm going to have my Monday jams happening for at least the next couple Mondays before things get busy with late spring and summer, or I should say spring and summer activities. So come join me on the Monday Night Play Along Jam on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel, starting at 7:30 Eastern. And you kind of need to be on one of my socials to see the announcements and stuff, either my Instagram or my Facebook page or my Twitter. Another question. Do bluegrass guitar players ever venture beyond the relative 4th, 5th fret, or due to dependence on open strings is not common? Most bluegrass is played in open position, but we get up the neck on stuff. The trick is, once you're up the neck, you got to work your way back down for your G run. So if I was up, you know, I'd have to know those quick ways down. So there's certain kind of shifts that you can do to work your way down back to open position, because you don't want to end a solo way up here, because you got to do some type of run, a G run, and you got to get back to rhythm. So typically we don't, you know, we can work our way up, but we got to find a quick way back down if we do. Good question. So and all of this can be answered in great detail on my on-demand courses on JamPlay. The Bluegrass Flat Picking Method and the Bluegrass Flat Picking Survival Guide, mainly. Cool. Well, thanks everybody. This has been fun. I'll see you next Wednesday, same time.